Hey,
All right.
Mark, I am a huge fan of you. Let me just start out by saying I appreciate how objective you are and your professionalism. You're great. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm known as Michigan Mike. And I just wanted to ask you a question. Well, not not so much ask you a question, but just as a Michigan fan, 7 years ago, we got the biggest Christmas gift we could ever get. We had a wish list, and at the top of our list was Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And we got that gift, and we just thought, "Oh my God, it's all coming together. Things are gonna be great again." And of course, we know it's been a long haul, and but I'm so glad that he finally got over the top, man, and we finally beat Ohio State. You know, most of us have been waiting for that Jim Harbaugh, the Stanford Jim Harbaugh, that went to USC as a 42-point underdog and handed them their can. We've been waiting for that guy to show up in Ann Arbor. And I think the tide has turned. And I'm not going to hold you long, man. Again, thanks for taking my call. But I just want to get your opinion on what I'm saying there.
Well, I don't know how long you've been watching, but I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for watching and spreading the word. We appreciate that. So much like you, I said the same thing when Jim Harbaugh was hired, that this is the perfect hire. So you've got a guy that is a Michigan man through and through. And I don't think that's anywhere close to being at the top of the priority list. I think that's icing on the cake, but it is important that he understands the culture, that he bleeds maize and blue, that he's going to do everything that he possibly can to get it right and do it right. But here's a guy that's been hired that every stop he took a bad situation and made it a overwhelming success. San Diego, Stanford, San Francisco 49ers, all were in bad places when he took them over. And he took Stanford to a place in football that they hadn't been to since Bill Walsh was there in the 1970s. To think he took over a 2-14 team in the NFL and went to 3 straight NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. It was a slam dunk of a hire. I thought it was the right hire to make, that it was obvious. Okay. 2015 and 2016, I thought, hey, this is working. 2015, they go from 5-7, they go 10-3. He wins a bowl game. They're much better. They go from, again, a 5-win team to a top 10 or 12 team in the country. Bam. 2016, we all know what happened against Ohio State. Did they get a bad spot? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Regardless of whether the officials screwed up, they were that close, a credit card width away from going to the Big Ten championship game, in which they would have been a heavy favorite, probably gone to the playoff. And that game may have changed everything. Had they won that game, who knows what would have happened after that? Because what is happening now might have happened 5 years ago. They might have been on their way. So I don't always look at the results. I look at what kind of impact and effect is this coach having on the program? And I tend to not look so much at the results. The results are what count. But to me, when you bring a team to a place where they're a Colin Kaepernick incomplete pass in the end zone away from winning the Super Bowl, some people just say, hey, he lost the Super Bowl. To me, he prepared a team well enough to win a Super Bowl game. He prepared a Michigan team in 2016 good enough, well enough to he can't control the officials. He can't control everything. He prepared them well enough to win in Columbus and get to a Big Ten championship game. So I thought everything was going great. The 2017 season went a bit off the rails, but things went wrong for him, quarterback injuries. Then 2018, we know that they were playing much better than Ohio State until they got to Columbus. And I have always defended Jim Harbaugh based on all of that. Now, I did have some doubts after 2-4, although if you catch me on Steve Deace's Michigan podcast, I clearly stated a number of times on there that the games count. They went 2-4, but I didn't really take that into consideration. I thought, this is a guy that's fielded top 15 teams in the country this entire time since 2015. I think he's going to do the same thing here. And he's obviously done much better than that. So, yeah, I think he's a really good football coach, and he wasn't afraid to, whether he was forced to or not afraid to, he changed and he cleaned out the staff and he got some fresh blood, some new blood, some different ideas. And what I've been extremely impressed with from a football standpoint, in addition to the attitude and all that other stuff, but in just the execution on the field, is that he and Josh Gaddis have built an offense that maintains a tough identity, a hard-nosed, lean on the offensive line, lean on Haskins in the running game identity, but still it's up to date, it's innovative. There's still innovative type play calling, explosive plays in the offense. This offense has more 50-yard plays than Ohio State does. So he's been able to maintain that Michigan identity that he wants so bad from the Bo Schembechler days, but still updated at the same time. And it's worked. And it's gotten better each and every week.
Hey, listen, man, let me tell you, Mark, as a diehard Michigan fan, I respect Georgia. I respect Alabama. But I love that team that we have. The team that has been playing the last 4 or 5 weeks, and let me tell you something. Even in our loss with Michigan State, after that game, I was like, oh my God, we got something. We really have a product and we can do something. And the way we rolled off the next, several wins, I believe. I freaking believe. That's me.
Well, I can understand that. I can I can understand how you would believe after what they've accomplished this year. That's seen at the Big House after the Ohio State game. Regardless of who you root for, if you just love college football and college football tradition and history, was an epic scene to see that. And if you understand the rivalry and understand what it means to Michigan and Ohio State, that game, regardless of what the records are and what they accomplished there, that scene was, again, it was just historic.
Yeah, that was just college football. That's good for college football. And I think, not being a homer, but Michigan, when Michigan is relevant, I just think it's good for college football, period, and so it was great, man. I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm a native of Michigan. I go to at least 1 or 2 games every year. I went to Wisconsin this year, and then I went to the Michigan game versus Indiana. It's just a part of my it's a part of my schedule. My boss knows it, So I'm man, Mark, and I'm gonna let you go. As many Michigan fans around the world, I've never been as happy as I am right now, man. I'm just so glad that we're playing good football, and I'm happy for Harbaugh because he's taken so much, man, and he's been so close. He's been so close. That bad spot, or however you want to call it, in 2016, however you want to call it, you take that away, we would have done this years ago. And then I think it was, what was it, 2018? We were actually favored to win in Columbus. But I'm going to tell you what derailed us. That was Karan Higdon guaranteeing a win. Had I been a coach, I would have ripped him a new one. You haven't beaten this team hardly in the last 2 decades, and you're going to guarantee a win? Shut your mouth. You're playing better football than they have. You know, a common opponent, we've done better all year. Just go in there and take care of business. And I think that derailed us and gave Ohio State all the fuel that they needed, and they beat us. Hey, thanks, man, for having me, man. I appreciate your show.
Thanks so much for
appreciate
the call.
You.